New World is a brand new MMO with everything going on and all these games being hacked, Call of Duty, Apex, Fortnite just falling off. Right now, this is the top viewed and top streamed game. And there's very good reason why. If you haven't already, I very highly suggest going to get this game. It does drop August 31st, so you do have a little bit of time left. The beta does end on August 2nd. So if you want to get a little bit of playtime in, go ahead. I've got about 20 hours into the game. I know that doesn't seem like a lot, especially for an MMO. But for a review, I feel like 20 hours is substantial enough. Gives you a little bit of what's being given in the game. Now, as you can see, I do have some gameplay that I'm going to be talking over. I'm not going to go over too much of it because I just want to review the game as a whole, not just general aspects. If you guys want more of those, let me know in the comments and I'll be able to provide those and do some places you may not know, find some research out, or research some of the new areas and stuff like that when it does finally drop for you guys. Now onto gameplay. So we're going to talk about gameplay real quick, and the gameplay for the game is very different to your typical MMO. As you can see, I just dodged. It's not a turn-based, so you're not sitting there hitting somebody and taking turns hitting. You can move around freely. It's very nice to be able to free move, and I think that's what sets this apart from most MMOs. Is because you have a lot more freedom, which an RPG should be, but an MMO, there hasn't been this much freedom, at least in my knowledge. I'm not a big MMO because I do like RPGs and I like the freedom that RPGs are supposed to give you. And I feel like sometimes MMOs cap that freedom that we have. Now, the game does a lot of different things dealing with combat, dodging, breaking shields, using your shields, using 2 sets of weapons. You do have 2 slots for weapons. I've got long range and then I've got close combat. That is my preferred setup right now. It seems to be the best for me in my play style. I'm a very aggressive player. And it might not work for everybody. Now, this is a PvP PvE game. Now, as far as I know, I don't remember looking at the when I was selecting my world. I don't remember looking to see if there was a specific channel that was specifically for PvE or if there was one for specifically PvE. As far as I can tell, it looks like they are combined in one, because when you're in a settlement, you can choose to flag yourself or unflag yourself for PvP. Which is really nice, and you can only do that when you're in the settlement. You cannot do that mid-world. Like GTA, you can unflag yourself from PvP and just jump right into a fight. Well, unfortunately, which in my opinion is probably the best way to do this, you have to go to a settlement, unflag yourself, and then you start PvP throughout the world. Now, when you do start PvP, it is very unforgiving because there's no low-level territories. There is territories within the map. Now, that is something new that I haven't seen in an MMO. I have seen factions and wars and stuff like that, but the whole map has territories that you can take over as your faction, and it is a very nice setup, right? So, I am part of the Marauder faction, which is the green faction. You have the green, the purple, and the yellow factions. I can't remember the other 2 for the life of me, but it does work out in your favor because if you're not one of those factions, there is a full-based economy, so you have to look out for property taxes. You have to think about taxes when you're selling and buying things, and that can increase or decrease based on your faction and where you're at, because you can travel to any faction's territories as I don't know if they're going to change it to where if you travel outside of your faction territory and it automatically goes PvP. I feel like that's a pretty cool idea and something that could be implemented, but I'm not sure of how that's going to work. I am going to look up the other factions real quick because I want to give you guys the most, and since I can't remember what the factions are. Alright, so you got the Marauders, the Syndicate, and the Covenant. The Syndicate is purple, and I believe the Covenant is yellow. As you've seen on there, it is mostly green. The Marauders are taking over, and you can do this by doing faction quests. Now, faction quest has two sets. You have a PvE faction quest set, and you have a PvP faction quest set. I highly suggest, if you want to do PvP, to make sure you have a team. If you don't have a team, make sure you are very, very high level and you do not run into groups because you will get mauled to death. I went into PvP just to see what it was like, and I instantly said nope because I do not have a group of people to play with. The community is actually super helpful. Down in the bottom left corner, there is a chat box, and you can switch it to this box called the help box, and you can start asking questions and you will be answered. It is really nice. I was having trouble finding hemp for some linen, and I just went in there. I was like, hey, does anybody know where hemp is, because I cannot seem to find it on the map anywhere. And northwest here, literally like 2 seconds. It was so nice. The community is very helpful, and it's not toxic. That's the thing. That's the beauty of it. You have a lot of people goofing off and stuff like that, but it's really enjoyable because there's not much. It's not like you can die unless you're in PvP. So the overall gameplay of the game is just super pleasing, and it brings you in. It makes you feel like you're part of the game. Now, as you can see now, I'm starting to do some quests. The combat system you've seen throughout the game so far, you have a lot of mechanics. Now, I found myself getting stuck doing a lot of side quests as well as leveling like my blacksmithing and my logging and my crafting, my gathering. And it's pretty cool because everything is separated out. Here in a little bit, what you're going to notice, and I'm going to talk about it further, is the banking. Banking's really nice, and the loot is really nice. When you open your inventory, everything's separated already. I know in previous MMOs that I've played, like RuneScape, World of Warcraft, Path of Exile, stuff like that, you quick second. So you do get map upgrades. So if you're in a certain section like Everfall, you can upgrade what you want to have as a perk. So if you want faster mining, and that levels up, I believe I'm like level 7 or 8 on that. Actually, no, yeah, I think it's like level 7 or 8. Anyways, besides that, so back to what I was saying. I just wanted to bring that up because I forgot that it popped up right there. But back to what I was saying about the inventory, it separates everything for you. And I know one of my biggest problems with other MMOs is I would spend forever separating my equipment to keep them organized, and this automatically does it for you. It separates it by crafting, fishing bait. It'll separate it by food, potions, weapons, armor, you name it. It's separated into a category automatically in your bag. The biggest downfall that I've seen with this game, and it's only because I haven't went and made the bag yet, is you start off. Honestly, it's not even a downfall. This is just a fuck up on my part, but my inventory space fills up super quick. Now, I did find that, and here's a little tip. If you're working on something, I would start off with wood. It is the fastest leveling. You can gain about 30 levels in one full inventory bag. So what I mean by that is cutting wood until your bag is completely full, and I guarantee you'll gain about 20 or 30 levels off of that one bag and going to logging. Okay? And I meant for logging, not the wood cutting. Your wood cutting, you'll gain about 5 levels per bag until it gets way up there. I think I'm level 50 or 60 now on my wood cutting. All right. And yeah, so it's really nice, but at the same time, you do need to get that bag. Make sure you build you a bag first before anything else. The quests are super simple, so but they don't make it feel so simple that they're boring. You do a lot of running around right now, and we don't have mounts, so it takes forever. But the good thing about that is certain parts of the game, the sounds, just listening to the environment is so nice. Like when it starts to get nice out or night out, you can hear like the crickets. It's the small details of the game that make this game very, very well done. The graphics look astounding. And by the way, the 3090 series thing that's going on, I honestly can say that that's a flaw with the 3090. That is not the case with everybody's computer. I play this on an Alienware M7 with a 2080, and I cap my FPS out. I let it automatically set. I don't go overboard. If you're going overboard, you're trying to show off. There's no reason to go that far in with your graphics. The game looks good at where it's at, and I honestly don't even know what my graphics are on. I think they're on medium or high. I didn't go all out because it's not needed. The game looks beautiful as it is, and everything is super noticeable. You do have a gear score, and stuff like that. So every time you start leveling like your blacksmithing and stuff like that, make sure you're checking your gear score. Now there's going to be some things that pop up that I want to talk about. I just fast traveled to the end. Now you can only fast travel to ends every 60 minutes. So once you use it, you have to wait 60 minutes. It's kind of like the World of Warcraft, the fast travel stone. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah. This is going to turn into some quests. This is one of the settlements. Now, like I said, there is taxes and stuff like that when you're buying, when you're trading, when you're crafting, you have to pay to craft. So you got to make sure you have those funds available. So you got to play smart with your money on this game. Now, and I know for a lot of people that's going to sound like a lot, but honestly, it's really not that bad. I don't even pay attention to it. I just craft. I don't buy a lot of stuff with my money. Right here, you see me turning in faction quests and then re-uploading my faction quests. Now, the thing with faction quests is you get these special faction points to be able to buy equipment, and I believe I go back and show because I completely forgot, but I needed to get rid of I was overcumbered, so I needed to get rid of some of my stuff, so I decided to craft some stone blocks. And you see, every time you craft, you go up, and you get your experience for crafting certain things. I unlocked an achievement. The in-game achievements are really easy to lock, and for certain achievements, you do get special items for those achievements, so you kind of just got to watch out for them. But just play the game, experience it. I find myself not really having to use Google and Wiki as much for this game, because a lot of it's easy to figure out yourself. Now, one of the cool features that I noticed about this game is you do not have to have crafting stuff in your inventory. And this is what I was talking about. See how it's separated? It's really nice. I know I'm going back and forth. That's because things are popping up and I notice it and I want to jump back to what I said previously. But yeah, look, see, so everything's super separated. But the cool thing about this is, and I show this here in a second also, is you do not need your crafting equipment inside your inventory to craft while you're in the settlement. When it is in your storage, you can still craft outside of that. So that is a really good perk that they give in the game, because that also frees up your inventory. So your inventory kind of balances out. I feel like the game is super balanced right now. And you, like I said, it's free it's a freedom thing. It's super balanced out, and I'm salvaging everything. I don't sell a lot of things, and I don't just drop it. I usually just salvage it for the parts, so I can make better stuff. But here's the part where I'm going in and I show you the faction points. So you get all these rewards, and the higher levels you go up, which I think it's capped at 60 right now, you become a commander and you get access to legendary and rare items. Or epic and rare, whatever the loadout form is here. I think it's legendary, epic, rare, common. But yeah, so you get different choices on what you want to buy. I know, like, my sword is green. I bought it from my faction because it had a really high hit rate and a really powerful level. And that's the beauty of doing those faction quests. And like I said, they are PvE or PvP. You get to choose the top rows PvE and the bottom rows PvP. Right now, I'm just going to each crafting station and doing these. And if you need a crafting item for a quest, it will mark it for you with a little yellow indicator in the top right corner of the item, if you notice right there. So the game's, like I said, the game's huge, but it's not so overbearing that you just get lost in it and you don't know what you're doing. Honestly, if you get lost, you're just not willing to learn the game. There is the bank where you can sell items. I was just trying to find a quest here, but you can do banking, and I believe I go sell an item in there as well that I get from these quests. But yeah, I think all in all, if you get this game, go into it ready to just lose yourself in it. I think it's one of those games that's just it's gonna change the way MMOs are made, and that's a good thing, because MMOs are starting to get very bland. Games are starting to get very bland, and I find myself not enjoying as many games as before, because they either overcomplicate it or they underdo it, and there's just way too many glitches and stuff like that. I have yet to run into any big bugs. I've run into small environmental bugs where, like, the mountain will randomly magnify in, but it's still playable, so I'm not really super worried about it. And that's the biggest thing I take away from this, is that for a beta game, there is very minimal glitches, and it's enjoyable, and you can just do whatever you want. Even though you're in different factions, you can still help each other out on PvE missions. There's also war missions where you guys go to war, and the server will tell you, hey, we're going to war. And you can gear up and go to war, or you can just continue to do what you do. And like me, all I've been focusing is my crafting and stuff, because I really want to go into this game as a seller. So I'm hoping they don't scrap what we've already worked for when the game launches. Go get the game. Go get the game and enjoy it. Just enjoy it for what it is. Don't nitpick it. Just enjoy it for what it is, guys. Hey, I really appreciate each and every one of you. This is the first review video that I've done in a very, very, very long time, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did enjoy it, please let me know. Leave a comment, drop a like, drop a share. If you're on TikTok, share this video so other people can enjoy it as well. And that's pretty much all I have. I can't stress enough how much I enjoyed this game, and New World is going to be the WoW killer if the legal premise doesn't kill them first. And Call of Duty and all those other games are gonna fall off to this game, if not the next FPS, which I'm hoping I get to review that one as well, which is Rainbow Six's new game. Or not Rainbow Six, I'm sorry, the new Tom Clancy FPS. So get ready and look out for that review as well once it does drop. Always, guys, much love. Peace.
Unfortunately, it's difficult. My former friend fell to the corrupted in the Shadow Mine area. fact, you could go there and exact vengeance.